nuclear physics. So now we are going to see about the unit 6 nuclear physics. Okay. So already we've seen the last classes, the alpha decay, beta decay and gamma decays, and about the decay process, everything we've seen in last classes. Now we are going to see about what is nuclear fission. The fission is nothing but the breaking of the nucleus is called fissions. Okay, so the introductions about the nuclear fissions. In 1939, the German scientist Otto Hahn and F. Stresemann discovered that uranium nucleus. That uranium nucleus is a large mass number of the element. This large mass number of the element is bombarding is nothing but the collision. That bombarding with that neutron, it breaks into the two smaller element. The smaller element is nothing but the small mass number element is called the smaller fragment. Okay. So what does mean fission? The fission is nothing but the large mass number of the nucleus is split into the two smaller mass number of the element is called the fissions. Okay. So if the nucleus gets split, then it is called nuclear fission. It is discovered that by the scientist Otto Hahn and F. Stresemann. Okay. And the definition, what is the nuclear fission definitions? It is a process of a breaking, or it is also called a splitting of a heavier nucleus into two smaller nucleus with the releasing of large amount of energy. So during the nuclear fission reaction, if the fission processes takes place, after that fission process, it will be releases a large amount of energy in the form of heat or in the form of radiation or in the form of light. Any kind of energy can be releases during the fission reaction. So, okay, how can the fission reaction takes place? Okay, so the nuclear fission reaction takes place in the only that higher mass number elements as like uranium 235. Okay, so here given the one examples, if the uranium 235 element is bombarding with the neutrons. Okay, so already said it is bombarding is nothing but it making a collision is called the bombarding. Okay, so when the bombarding with the one neutron, it will be split into barium 141 and krypton 92, and it also gives a furthermore 3 neutrons. Okay, so carefully listen this children. So here one neutron is captured by the uranium 235 and it will be split into barium 141 and krypton 92, and furthermore 3 neutrons will be produced, and additionally some amount of energy will be used. Okay, okay, how much of energy will be produced per fission reactions? Okay, so here per fission reactions it will be produced a amount of energy that is equal to 3.2 into 10 power of minus 11 joules, or it is also equal to 200 million electron volt amount of energy to be released. Okay, so approximately if one uranium is gets split, it will be produced amount of energy is equal to 200 million electron volt, which is also you can say the 200 mega electron volt. That 200 mega electron volt, which is equal to 3.2 into 10 power minus 11 joules amount of energy will be released during this fission reaction. Okay, so next we are going to see about the picture reticle diagram. Okay, so this is a neutron. This neutron is captured by the heavier nucleus, that is uranium 235. It will be split into barium 141 and krypton 192, and it will be gives 3 additional neutrons and plus additional some amount of energy will be released. Okay, so this is given the short form of the equations. It's already seen in the last slide. Okay, so we move to next slide. So what kind of the materials we have? Okay, so here the 2 types of materials we have. One is a fissionable materials, another one is a non-fissionable materials. What is meaning about the fissionable? The fissionable is nothing but a certain amount of element only gets breaks. Okay, so that kind of breaking element is called fissionable materials. Okay, so okay, what kind of elements gets breaking? The fissionable material is a radioactive element which undergoes a fission in a sustained manner. Sustained manner is nothing but a self-controlled manner is called sustained manner, or continuous manner we can say. So in the self-sustained manner, when it is absorb a neutron. Okay, so when a radioactive element absorbs the neutron, and the neutron after that absorbing, it will be split into the 2 smaller fragments. Okay, so that kind of the element is called the fissionable materials. Okay, so what are the fissionable materials we have? So here there is uranium 235 element and the plutonium 239 and plutonium 241. So these are the elements is called fissile materials, because these elements of the radioactive materials which is absorbs a neutron, and after the absorbing it will be gets produce a fission reactions. Okay, so these fission reaction producing material is called the fissionable materials. Okay, so the next we are going to see about what is non-fissionable materials. Okay, so in that uranium, we have the isotopes of uranium. We have the four kinds of isotopes of uranium. So in the isotopes of uranium, we have that uranium 238 is most abundant element in the Earth's surface. So, but even though it is most abundant in the Earth's surface, but it is not a fissionable materials, because even though if you are giving that neutron to that uranium 238, it will not get splitted. Okay, so that kind of material is called non-fissionable material. Simply we can say that is if a radioactive elements we have, the radioactive elements even though absorbs one neutron, but it cannot be splitted, it cannot be breaking. That kind of element is called non-fissionable materials. Okay, so these kinds of materials we also have here. So whereas that is uranium 235 is a fissionable materials, but that uranium 238 is a non-fissionable materials. But it is non-fissionable even though it is well abundant. Abundant means it will be more amount of element gets in a Earth surface. Okay, so scientists have decided it is more amount we have, but it is not a fissionable material. How can we convert it into the non-fissionable material into a fissionable materials? Okay, so that is given here. That is reactions. That materials are called fertile materials. Okay, so those are non-fissionable materials. We are going to convert fissionable materials. That kind of materials are called fertile materials. Okay, so fertile is nothing but production materials or conversion, we can say. So there are some radioactive elements which can be converted into the fissionable materials. They are called fertile materials. Simply we can say non-fissionable material is converted into fissionable materials. That process is called the fertile material process. Okay, so what are the elements we have that fertile materials? Okay, here already said that is uranium 238 and that is thorium 232 and plutonium 240. These are the fertile materials. Okay, so how can we convert that? Is uranium 238 is non-fissionable, then we will be converted into fissionable materials. Here that some reactions are given. That is uranium 238 is bombarding with one neutron. Already said that if even though observing the neutron, it will not split, it will goes to the unstable nucleus. Already last classes we seen unstable nucleus is nothing but the excited state of the nucleus is called unstable nucleus. Okay, so here that is uranium 238 is absorbed one neutron, it will becomes uranium 239 in an excited state or unstable nucleus it will form, and additionally some amount of energy will be released in the form of gamma rays. Okay, and next this uranium 239 is already we seen in the radioactivity process. Even the unstable nucleus is want to become a stable nucleus. Okay, so during this process some amount of energy will be. So here that is uranium 239 is an unstable nucleus which will be converted into a stable nucleus by emission of some radiations. Okay, so here it is given that is uranium 239. It will be converting of a non-radioactivity elements that is equal to that is 93 neptunium 239, which gives amount of energy in the form of beta particles. Okay, so beta particles is nothing but electron is called beta particles. Okay, so during this beta decay, the atomic number will be increases by 1 and mass number will be remains same. Okay, so even though that neptunium 239 is also in that unstable state. So this neptunium 239 also undergoes a radioactive process. It will be converted into that again one beta decay process. Okay, so hence that 93 neptunium it will be converted into 94 plutonium and the mass number is remains the same, that is a 239. Okay, so already we know that is 94 plutonium 239 is a fissionable materials. Okay, so here that is uranium 238 is a non-fissionable materials, but that plutonium 239 is a fissionable materials. Okay, so this process is called fertile materials. Here that is plutonium 239 is called fertile elements. Okay, so now it becomes a fissionable elements. So next we are going to see about the chain reactions. Okay, so here that already we seen the nuclear fission reactions. One neutron is bombarding with the uranium 235. It will be split into the two small fragments and also produce 3 neutrons. Okay, so these 3 neutrons is further captured by the another 3 uranium nucleus. It will be again produce 3 fission reactions. These three fission reactions, each one produces 3 neutrons. Okay, so in order to we get as a 3 into 3, 9 neutrons we get. These 9 neutrons are further on capturing another 9 uranium. It will be produce a fission process, and the 9 uranium of each material which produces each 3 neutrons, it will give a 27 neutrons. This process will be keep on increases. 3 neutrons will produce 9 neutrons. These 9 neutrons will produce 27 neutrons, and 27 neutrons will produce a further 81 neutrons. These processes are keep on going. Okay, so this process is called chain reaction process, if you are saying. Okay, so that is simply given here. That is definitions. Okay, the uranium nucleus, that is uranium-235, when it is bombarded with a neutron, it undergoes a fission producing a 3 neutrons. Okay, so these 3 neutrons in turn to cause the fission in 3 other uranium nucleus and present in the sample, thus the producing of 9 neutrons. These 9 neutrons is further producing a 27 neutrons. Okay, so and keep on, it will be going the reactions. This known as a chain reactions. Okay, so these chain reactions we are keep on moving. Okay, so that's why it's called as a self-propagating, or which is also the process is called a geometrical process, because it moves like this 3, 9 and 27 and 81. It will be keep on moving that like that. So that's why they are called a geometrical process. Okay, so even in the chain reaction we have the two kinds of the chain reactions. Okay, so one is a controlled chain reaction, another one is a uncontrolled chain reactions. Okay, first we are going to see about that. What is a controlled chain reaction? In the word itself we are having that controlled. Controlled is nothing but here that per fission reaction it will produce 3 neutrons. Okay, in the 3 neutrons we have to observe the 2 neutrons, and only kept that 1 neutrons is available for the further chain reactions. Okay, for maintaining 1 neutron for each fission process is called controlled chain reaction. That is the one important word here. That is, in this reaction the number of neutrons is released and maintained to be 1. Okay, so this is a controlled process. Okay, so that's why it's called the controlled chain reaction. Then that each chain process will use only one fission reactions. Okay, it does not go there a more number of fission reactions. Okay, so that's why it's called the control, and also it is called a sustained process. Okay, sustained means is a stable process, or we can say it is a keep on moving the same manner. It's called sustained in a controlled manner. Okay, so that it is used as a controlled chain reaction. That controlled chain reactions is used only in a constructive purpose. Constructive purpose is nothing but in a power production areas we can use in Kalpakkam or Kodagulam. So like that areas we can use this kind of a process of the chain reactions. Okay, so because the main aim to produce only power productions, electricity productions only they are using. Okay, so that